Thank you very much for staying with us on DD Dialogue on National News Broadcaster Doordarshan. I'm Sakal Bhatt, and we are joined by a very, very distinguished and high-powered panel to talk about multi-sectoral growth story and how over the recent years there has been a paradigm shift, specifically when we talk about development and connectivity, and what are the reasons that are attributed to growth, especially in power sector, energy, agriculture, health, education. The panelists are at the helm of affairs when we talk about these development parameters, most important development parameters, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen and my honorable panelists, the breakthrough policy initiatives that we have seen, if at all we have seen, in the last few years, whether it is water, development, power, energy, Northeast Council, etc. So that is going to be the larger narrative of our discussion. I'm going to quickly start with Kumar Sanjay Krishna, former Chief Secretary Assam, and he's Assam Electricity Regulatory Commission main man at the helm. And simple si agar power ki baat kare to नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जब पहले बिजली की बात की जाती थी तो ये दूर दराज के इलाकों में बिजली नहीं है, पानी नहीं है, पानी का तो खैर मैं आपसे पूछूं, लेकिन I was going through some of your reports, media reports, Northeast media particularly. They're talking about the 97% revenue collection efficiency achieved in 2020. The numbers look very good, sir. I must say 21, 22, 105% attributed to the power revenue collection, although there is also a mention of the recent tariff hike, which has not really gone down well with the people, but it's fine, it's a balancing act. So overall, have you managed to take Bijli to far-flung areas of Northeast? What is the situation on ground and what has been the change so far?
See, for any development, power is one of the most important items. So from that point of view, I would say Assam requires about 2,400 megawatt of power every day. Out of that, we produce only about 300 megawatt. Rest of the power, we have to buy it through the exchange or through the power purchasing agreements with various organizations like NTPC and NEPCO and all. But as you know, that the Prime Minister has given importance for net zero emission and renewable energy emission by renewable energy power by 2030, 50% of that. So Assam government is trying to, encourage renewable energy, and for that we have already had an agreement with various organizations, and we expect that in another 2 to 3 years we'll be able to produce about 3,000 megawatt of renewable energy. And once we have all this, I think it will be better that everybody in whether he's in the rural area or urban area, the power will be made available. As of now, it is much better off, I would say, what it was 10 years back or 5 years back. Mm-hmm. People are getting power, but of course, because not having resources within our state, so at times we need to buy at higher prices from the exchange, mm-hmm. or the certain PPAs like NTPC. We have an NTPC PPA where the power cost is high. So because of that, sometimes we need to really increase the tariff. But mostly I suppose
as power reaches ghar ghar.
Definitely it is reaching.
Is it reaching?
It is reaching ghar ghar. Mm-hmm. And if you compare power with tariff with other states, even if you talk about Maharashtra, ours is cheaper.
Okay. Now let me quickly go across to Moses Chalai, Secretary, Northeastern Council. Just give us a sense. Northeast Council has a clear-cut job, Mr. Chalai, cut out. Especially, I would want to have an insight from you on Prime Minister's development initiative for Northeast region. There's a lot written about it, and some of your development programs like Parmatmala, where you're looking at joining hilly terrains, difficult and hilly terrains. Mr. Chalai, are these game changers, or perhaps are there more game changers in pipeline? And these game changers, their implementation on ground, we don't want them to be confined to only files, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. I think to put it in perspective that we have this 10% GBS, gross budgetary support, from non-exempted ministries and departments of about 54, 55 ministries, departments. So in the last 9 years, about 3.84 lakh crores have been penalized, have been implemented by these different ministries in Northeast, and that's a big push.
Yeah.
And therefore, with this kind of huge infuse of investment, naturally on the ground, a whole lot of happen. And if we go out all over Northeast, it's visible. It's heavy duty. Yeah, that's I can say.
Yes.
That's one. And
but heavy duty kitna sustainable hai? You know, a lot of traffic snarls, and I mean, I was just talking to my friends over here. Heavy duty is there, which is good in the sense we can sense the work is being done, Mr. Chalai, on war footing. On war footing काम चल रहा है, लेकिन वो कितना sustainable होगा?
Sustainable. In fact, it's still work in progress. Yeah. So I'm sure that the sustainability part also will be eventually taken care of. It will never be a perfect situation. But it comes to a fact that the sustainability part is as equally important. I really don't have a time to get into that, but recently we did one exercise, a small exercise, almost like a back of the envelope calculation, and that we find out that how with limited resources, so we can at least sustain the road, maintain the road for the next 15-20 years. Once a road is constructed, if we systematically invest that maintenance cost and that effort is made. But for want of time, I cannot get into the detail. But yes, it's very important.
Okay, Archana ji, Mission Director, National Water Mission. What is the larger picture when it comes to water governance? घर घर तक पानी, ये आपका दायित्व है, एम है, जो भी कहें आप. लेकिन अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट के क्षेत्रों की बात की जाए तो water has always been a scarcity. Can you say that no more is the case? Especially tough regions like Sikkim and the qualitative and quantitative issues concerning water consumption.
Okay, to speak on that first, I would like to say that the physiography of the Northeast is not homogeneous. If we look at the physiography of the Northeast, it can broadly be characterized as Eastern Himalayas, Northeast Hills, and the Brahmaputra and the Barak Plains. So these are the three ecosystems that we distinctly have. So there can be no one-size-fits-all situation for the whole of the Northeast, though we take it as a homogeneous entity. There's great diversity. And it is in this context that the Honorable Prime Minister's vision for water has been a game changer.
Yeah.
Because initially, water was considered a contractor's department. It was considered कि कुछ technical dams बना दो, engineering solution. But he in 2019 in his Man Ki Baat said that Jan Andolan se hi Jal Andolan ho sakta hai. So that is how we locate the whole governance from the perspective of the community. That unless community takes charge of water, not much can happen in terms of sustenance. And ironically, despite the Northeast having abundant rainfall, out of 150 water stressed districts that we have chosen under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan this year, 37 districts are from the northeastern states.
Okay.
So we say that, water as such is not a problem in the Northeast, but reaching of water to the community and to the people still remains a challenge. And why I would say so? Because, in the Northeast, if you were from Gujarat and Maharashtra, you grew up seeing water scarcity. Here from Bihar or Assam, we have seen water in abundance, our myths,
You have so many rivers, untamed.
River systems. So we've never really thought of it as a scarce product. We've thought of it as something which is endless. So that is, but reports, we have had recently the groundwater assessment report of 2022, which says that the aquifer systems of the northeastern states, can pose a challenge in the future because our spring sheds are drying, especially for Meghalaya and Sikkim. 24%, 37% of the population lives on, from the spring sheds. So spring sheds needs that your rainfall runoffs does not happen, and what gets down percolates to the underground and then is useful to get recharged. So for that, during the Honorable Prime Minister and the Niti Aayog campaign started that what is important, I'm not talking about Assam in particular because Assam has a flood and erosion problem which is different, but for the other northeastern states, this time we are specifying and emphasizing on spring sheds. And because in the northeast, community as such doesn't need mobilization because 90% of the water bodies that we have is owned by the community, by the people. So our Jal Shakti Abhiyan mission this time is emphasizing for the northeast on the spring shed development and also on rainwater harvesting structures. Because Kamrup urban metropolitan has been categorized as a critical district. It's of all the 37 districts of the northeast that we have chosen, it's described as a critical district for water scarcity, and therefore we need to harvest the water. And that is why PM Sir started the slogan of catch the rain when it falls, where it falls.
So वो जो आपने जन आंदोलन की बात कही, to decode it further for the जनता, for the viewers of national broadcaster, वो जन आंदोलन पानी के लिए ताकि घर घर तक पानी पहुंचे, स्कैरसिटी ना रहे, बन चुका है?
Yes, जब हम जन आंदोलन की बात करते हैं तो basically we emphasize on community engagement right from the commencement of the projects. Like Amrit Sarovar, 75 Amrit Sarovars have to be built in every, constructed or rejuvenated in every district. Now, what has been decided in Government of India is that we will encourage the community to take over that water body after it is constructed or rejuvenated. This can happen in Odisha. We have had a fantastic experiment of, and in West Bengal, a water users association. In Bundelkhand, we have Jal Sahelis. So basically, they become the water managers. In Maharashtra, even the water user association charges tariff because हमको लगता है पानी free है तो उसको waste करो. But water users association in Maharashtra have been given the power to charge tariff for water consumption. And
northeast में?
And northeast में already we have communities which are strong, like in Meghalaya. In Meghalaya, for example, for spring shed development, they are working on the communities managing the area once the technical part is over. So handing it over to the community. Okay. So that is why, and not only Jal Andolan through management of water resources, but also on spreading awareness about water use efficiency.
Okay. So before I take the next question on health and education, because I'm actually compelled to ask you this. So what is it that we have seen in the last few years? The water governance has gone to the next level under the leadership of the current ruling dispensation. Do you sense something like this was missing?
As a bureaucrat, I will...
No, we will keep it very neutral and objective.
I would not like to comment, but I would say that, nothing starts in a vacuum.
Okay.
There is a process which was happening from before. But yes, water has become the center of discourse, that I can say, during the present government, because, and it has reached in terms of prioritization to the next level.
Got it, ma'am. Yes. Center of discourse. Now, when we talk about areas of centers of discourse in Northeast, education, I would like to come to that. The education bit, this one is for Ashok Puranik, head AIMS Guwahati, and then I'll come to you, sir, also. words, I mean, the numbers look very appreciable. 2014 till now, the expenditure on the higher education has been more than rupees 14 crore. This is 2014 onwards. एम्स तो आ गया है गुवाहाटी में, लेकिन क्या वो समय अब आ गया है कि जिनको मेडिकल के आगे हायर स्टडीज करनी है, they don't have to book their flights to the other parts of the country? What is the kind of ecosystem that is in place? I'm going to come to the health a little later, but the people from the Northeast would want to know from you, sir, how is it when it comes to your higher education, not only in medicals, but otherwise also, the training, the skill development, all of that?
Okay.
How is it poised in Northeast recent, off late?
Yeah. So I think before 2014, there were only seven aims were functioning. And then it's a gradual process. Any medical institute to be offering super specialist services in the education, it requires almost 10 years of incremental addition and adding various departments. Having said that, now we are running 22 aims in the country, and this has happened in last 7-8 years over the span of this particular time. Guwahati aims was the need of northeast area, which was really envisaged by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in 2017, and he inaugurated, the inaugural stones was put, and finally this has been handed over, the constructions and everything became complete, nearly complete now, and on 14th April it was inaugurated, and we have started our services to the local people. Third batch of already MBBS are already running. Fourth batch is about to join. By next year, by January 2024, we'll be starting post-graduation in almost all the departments. And probably another 1 year will take, and we'll be starting our super specialist department also.
Or aims like institutions, let me put it this way.
No, there are already a few super specialist services are existing, like there is a Varma Cancer Center over here, one international innovation health center is coming up with the IIT, where all the super specialist researches will be done, innovation will be done. Pradhan Mantri ji has another added section of children. The children suffer from a lot of hematological tumors. So for that also a separate block has been added to Cancer Center. So many things are happening in Northeast which was earlier not there. So we are, with the rapid pace, we are working on it. In future, we'll be certainly having a lot of research center, transplantation centers,
there is a
burn
blueprint
center. Yeah, actually, yeah. So as I said, it's a gradual process. We'll keep on adding that. So far, we started undergraduate education. Next year, we are starting postgraduate education. Maybe next to next year, we'll be starting the super specialist services, so that people from this area, earlier they were going to the other places like Calcutta or Delhi or Mumbai for the treatment. I can tell you in probably in 2 years' time, everything will be available at the doorstep.
That's a good news.
And beside that, you know, the प्रधान मंत्री जी की एक जो आयुष्मान भारत योजना है, उसके अंतर्गत हम उनका जो रजिस्ट्रेशन है वो बहुत इजी हो गया है. साथ में उनकी जो हेल्थ अकाउंट जो बनती है, this is called Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission by the Prime Minister's initiative only, so that everybody's account is digitalized, secured, and one can access from anywhere, you know. So that's the kind of power of automation and digitalization which has been envisaged by the
Okay, so this is as far as AIMS, particularly AIMS and medical education, ecosystem is concerned, sir. Professor Parameswar, same good news. I mean, do you also have some good news to share with those who are IIT aspirants?
Yeah. Thank you, for inviting me along with these elite panelists. I think we heard very good views from all the members. And definitely, whenever you think of development in any region, knowledge comes at the forefront. If you have a knowledge-based economy, then the growth path that we expect is very different. So definitely, being the only IIT in this entire region, we represent almost 8 states in this region. In the other parts of India, you have at least 1 IIT per state. So there is also a big responsibility on IIT Guwahati, that we bring in the technology
So we
know-how.
want more IITs here. I mean, the Northeast.
We can, definitely we can,
Yes.
but definitely unlike any other institutes, for us the biggest challenge is to attract the best quality faculty members from across the world. That challenge we are trying to overcome, but it's not very easy to bring
What
in.
about, quickly, a little bit of insight more on the training institutes, skill development, employability? I mean,
Yes.
I will try and keep it as simple as possible because at
Definitely.
the end of the day, we really want to understand ये जो हम बार-बार बदलाव की बात कर रहे हैं, तो बदलाव में New India, the New India of, or the New Northeast, the Gen Next of the Northeast,
Yes.
वो जो एक divide था North and Northeast के बीच का, especially when it came to higher education, employment, etc. वो डिवाइड धीरे धीरे खत्म हो चुका है या अभी थोड़ा सा कुछ बाकी है?
हाँ, आपने जो पूछा वो सही है, वो खत्म हो रहा है धीरे धीरे. Definitely, we are moving in that direction, and we could see during the time of pandemic, there's a very nice example. In fact, like IITs are very proud of the placements that happen. And in fact, during the pandemic, what happened is all our students, were forced to attend the placement sessions online. And in the last 2 years, we are seeing that IIT Guwahati has, come out number 1 in the placements in the country. So that's a very good news that you would like to share with the audience. Yes. So that answers your question on how we are reducing the divide. So the education and the type of knowledge that we impart here is, not less than any other institutes, top institutes in the country or in the world.
ऐसा हो सकता है आने वाले समय में कि शायद कोई नॉर्थ इंडियन नॉर्थ ईस्ट की तरफ रुख करे उच्च शिक्षा के लिए for higher education.
Yeah, definitely.
North Indian as in anybody. भारत तो एक है, but
Yes.
From any part of the country.
Definitely. No, I think, the credit also goes to the state government and the central government, because one of the biggest changes that we are seeing students want to come to IIT Guwahati is because of the great infrastructure that we are having. The connectivity that we have right now is as good as any other metro city, and that is what attracts the students also. Now we have even very good rail connectivity,
So
and
it's
all
a
other...
chain reaction now.
Yes,
because
exactly.
The connectivity projects are spruced up. That's in a way aiding
Yes.
education, spread of higher education institution and the ecosystem related.
Yes, and in fact we are also into mentoring a lot of other institutes in the region. That is also another big development that is happening. So the feedback we get and the students we get from this region, indigenous students that we get, that is also increasing in proportion. That's what we also want. So definitely the education sector, plus you mentioned about the skill also. We are working with the the state, the skill development authority, plus the central authorities, plus the education department, where right from the school level, we bring in the STEM part, that is very important. There is a big thrust from the central government, and bring that from the grassroots level, so that the students that come in from this region also, are equal or even better than other parts of the students that come from the other part of the country.
Okay. एक सवाल और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न काउंसिल के लिए चलाई सर. Agriculture is one of the mainstays of livelihood here. Plantation, if you talk about sericulture, Assam chai, ये सब आपस में जुड़ा हुआ है. If you could just share some insights, because primary employment अगर हम दूर दराज के इलाकों की बात करें तो agriculture से ही आता है, लेकिन उसमें क्या changes देखने को मिली है? Has there been a shift in this space also, agriculture?
Yes, definitely there is progress. The kind of that technology that is coming, the kind of that new and more productive seeds and inputs are coming. However, the much needs to be done, and of course there is improvement, but we are still heavily import of food grains, import of even as basic as eggs, meat, milk. So much is still being imported. So which means that the region really needs to catch up.
Yes.
However, let's be very clear that on certain Northeast has to be very, very strategic, in the sense that we should not do what everyone is doing. For instance, I don't think we should not try to compete potatoes with Bihar and Bengal. Okay. Impossible. Or cabbage or any other vegetable that happens. But we can be strategic in some of these selected crops.
लेकिन आपके क्षेत्र में तो आप सबसे अमीर है in terms of natural resources and mighty ब्रह्मपुत्रा, जहाँ से हम ये program को broadcast कर रहे हैं.
So we have to be strategic. Like we have to pick up selected items like or crops like kiwi. Kiwi will do very, very well.
Lychee.
तो
maybe,
उस दिशा में कुछ काम चल रहा है?
yes, हो रहा है.
These game changers जो मैं कह रही थी शुरू में, you know, these are
Yes, these are the ones that
different approach towards harnessing the real raw resources potential of Northeast.
Yes. For instance, if I may immediately straight away tell 2-3 items, the queen pineapple.
Okay, quick pineapple.
Yeah, it's that variety is outstanding. We
Quick
should
pineapple,
focus.
okay.
That variety, and then kiwi, and the high curcumin content like turmeric, and these few items which is just pick and push. Of course, the Assam tea is
I was
so
just
well
having
developed. I
that.
don't need to emphasize on that.
Pineapple, Tripura pineapple,
Yeah.
Please go ahead,
very,
sir.
very
And,
famous. And
right.
kiwi in Arunachal, they have come up with wine, kiwi wine, which is very good now.
Yeah. So this kiwi is grown well in almost all the states,
All the states.
upper reaches. And queen pineapple, Manipur and Tripura is outstanding, and so is Manipur. So we can pick up some of these limited items and then push out. But I think we should not get into trying to compete with some of the crops that
No, let's leave the competition aside, but I think even if there is a competition, Northeast will win hands down. You talked about some fruits. We knew about pineapple, but nobody knew about quick pineapple. I mean, so yeah, out of the box approach, you don't want to reveal much before I go to sir. Yeah, out of the box approach हमें अच्छा लगा. थोड़ा और जरा share करें. Northeast Council के पास काफी लंबी list है काम करने के लिए.
Yeah. But let me tell that, okay, from here, allow me to slightly get into a little ahead of it. Conventional industry, conventional agriculture, conventional horticulture will always have certain limitation in Northeast.
Okay.
I think it's time that we need to step into technology-led developments.
Okay.
And when I say that we need to quickly pick up on this 4.0 industry, which is coming in a big way the world over. And the youths of India, so they are very creative, innovative, and they do have certain advantage in that sense. So we have to pick on this technology, internet. Now, what is internet? 20 years back, 25 years back, we used to read that internet does not discriminate. So the technology will not discriminate whether we are sitting in a corner in one part of the Northeast or in Delhi or in Shillong or Guwahati or anywhere in the world. So that's kind of technology is one place where we need to really move in, and IITs here, I mean, and then that aims, and it's time that we all come together and push. Otherwise, conventional industry, we're going to have a lot of limitation. I have no time. I wish I can get into this.
IITs and aims are listening to you. I'm sure आने वाले समय में कई सारी collaborations और convergences होने वाली है. और collaboration convergence की अगर बात करें तो सर आप पे आना चाहूँगी संजय कृष्णा जी. Energy security और industrialization को लेके कई concerns उठे हैं. तो उसको लेके क्या किया जाता है? Deforestation is a big problem. अब थोड़ा सा how are we dealing with that challenge? Because when we speak about the resurgent Northeast, so like it was not built in a day, it takes time. But is this a larger part of the challenge? Deforestation, industrialization, and meeting energy requirements of Northeast. Sir.
Yes, it is, because geographically this area is totally unique, and not only geographically, I'd say culturally and ethnically. And if you have too many infrastructure coming up, so we have to see that ecological balance is not disturbed. So that is one of the most important things. Now you see there's a lot of roads are being built, rail networks is coming up, but then we have to go for the green connectivity also. And that is one reason why we are focusing on water connectivity. And Government of India is giving a lot of importance to water connectivity. And this National Water Ways Bill in 2016 has identified 111 waterways. And out of that, 18 are in Northeast, and 12 are in Assam, and rest in Meghalaya and Arunachal. So this is one way I think we have to give importance to ecological things, and so that your green cover is not disturbed. And too many industries are coming up here lately, but we have identified certain areas where that ecological balance is not disturbed in those areas. And we have identified those areas where there is no deforestation is needed, and those are the areas where we are allowing industries, and that is true for all of Northeast.
Right. Professor Parameswar, a bit on the startup ecosystem and how Northeast is faring in that. Though the reports are very appreciable, but sustaining startups तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा लेट शुरू हुआ, लेकिन लगता है कि वो भी अगर पूरे भारतवर्ष की बात की जाए तो स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम की रेस में नॉर्थ ईस्ट भी आ चुका है. प्रोफेसर
Yeah, I think this is a very important question. You know, in case we want to see really good entrepreneurs coming up from this region, and if we really don't depend upon the jobs for this region, you know, the youth of this region, and definitely the entrepreneurial activity in this region has to grow in a very big way. I think, you know, every small idea, every small initiative that, you know, we come across, there has to be a big push, big support, both from the government as well as institutes like IITs and AIMS or other higher educational institutes, because, you know, the knowledge part, you know, which may be lacking, you know, we can provide them.
What about the job part?
Yeah,
the
fact,
employability, yeah.
What I feel is that, you know, if we create more entrepreneurs, you know, they themselves be job creators rather than a job seeker. So I think that idea, if we can percolate, if that idea percolates among the youth here, I think, you know, it's going to be very, very good. And definitely, you know, we need people who would come forward to finance, you know, any ideas, and these entrepreneurs who are, there are plenty, as you know, my colleagues mentioned here, that there are good entrepreneurs, there are good ideas that can be translated into, you know, good industries. In fact, even in agricultural sector, you know, that's one of the biggest sector in this region. So definitely, if there is proper system in place and proper support in place, definitely, you know, the entrepreneurship will come up in a very, very big way, and that is going to create, you know, a lot of jobs within the sector itself. So I think, you know, we have to support that in a very, very big way.
In fact, with IIT Guwahati, we have started together one startup project initiative this year. So
I'm very keen to, in fact, if you could elaborate on that. Startup ecosystem is directly proportional to employability, job creation to job providers. Northeast mein, can we see, that's a big change if something like that happens, then you don't have a brain drain sort of a situation.
Regarding the job creation, AIMS is a big brand. You know, wherever the AIMS is established, the area around the AIMS develop like, you know, phenomenal. There is a phenomenal change you will find in that particular geographical area in terms of their economy and all that thing, because it creates so much of jobs for all the technicians, all the ward boys, attendants, cleaners, attenders, the food handlers, the medicine providers, the high-end equipment providers. And at the same time, we provide training to this skilled people. So we create a big skilled workforce. Like if I go to the basics, like AIMS, what does the AIMS do? So we do three things simultaneously. What we do is we produce safe doctors. We world-class safe doctors. Then to train, safe doctors. So to make doctors, we require clinical care of the people in the hospital. So we run a big hospital, 750 bedded at the moment is our strength. So we provide those clinical care to all the patients. Then simultaneously we do the research. That's our third duty, that whatever is the local problem, like Northeast has got a unique problem of facing anemia, infant mortality rate.
Health indicators, now that you've talked, please talk about that.
Then maternal mortality rate. Last few years it has been improving, but there's still many things to be done. Our Prime Minister has been really very visionary, and he thought of setting up 1.5 lakhs wellness centers.
Yes.
And out of that, 7,500 are located in the Northeast.
What about the far-flung areas? I was coming to the tertiary healthcare centers.
Like what happens in the plain areas, other than the Northeast, the sub-centers are set up in 5,000 population. In 30,000 population, you set up a primary health center. And 1.5 lakhs, you set up a community centers. But here,
some village in a hilltop in Gangtok.
Yeah, exactly. So here, all parameters had been diluted so that all these doctors can reach to the periphery. So 3,000 population area will have a sub-centers. People with the 20,000 population will have a primary health center.
So you have doctors in Northeast.
Exactly. We have 67,000 doctors in Assam. You'll be surprised. But still, our population is as such. We need to reach to the world standard. So we really need more trained manpower. We are working on it. And so many wellness centers being established, so many mental health awareness centers are being set, and a training of are making doctors and the trained man forces. That's our primary duty, which we are doing so. And in coming few years, I think the effect will be seen. So AIMS generates a lot of employment opportunity for the local youth, especially in who works in the hospital. So we require, the ambulance driver, we require attenders, carers.
So jobs hai.
Lot of jobs.
Okay, interesting. Professor Parameswar is smiling.
I agree actually.
So if we have safe doctors, Northeast can send doctors to the rest of the country from Northeast. Then what about IITs? What about budding scientists, IIT professionals?
No, definitely, I agree with what Professor Puranik mentioned. Actually, we also agree that, being an IIT, we definitely, generate a lot of manpower in not only scientists, but also a lot of engineers.
Yes.
And now, because of the new education policy that has come up, NEP, we also have been able to diversify into other areas. So we have very good designers. We have a Bachelor's of Design program, very good designers. We have a management school which has come up, and we are also there in now healthcare sector. So probably in another few years we also will have a very big pool of trained doctors that will be coming up. In fact, we have a very big project with the state government. It's called AAHII, Assam Advanced Healthcare Innovation
So
Institute.
there's lot
Yes.
of there is a lot of capacity building that is
Yeah, so we
happening.
already have a kind of MOU with them regarding the research, but future belongs to the lot of innovations like drones and the robots, which will be kind of
artificial intelligence,
yeah.
AI.
So we bank on them for that, and for that we have the MOU with the MOU.
AI पे आप पे आना
One
चाह रही थी.
statistics I would like
Yes,
to
sure,
share.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
The institutional birth in public facility in Assam especially is 74.5%, whereas nationally it is 61%. That means the medical facilities are available in far-flung areas also.
Exactly.
Okay. Before ma'am, I come to you. AI की आपने बात की, तो I was just reading in your general research here and some features that power department has also been using a lot of AI in monitoring so that there is no pilferage or leakage of power. जैसे पहले होता था, जिसको आम लोगों की भाषा में बोला जाता है बिजली की चोरी. अब नहीं होती यहाँ पे.
It's because of the smart meters now. Smart prepaid meters are helping to identify those.
So ये भी Northeast resurgence का हिस्सा है.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely a part of
Definitely. And AI is used for the tea plantations also, where those leaves. For a good tea, you need leaves of 7 to 9 days.
Camera can detect. Yeah.
So if you have 11 days or say
So there
6
has been a lot
days.
of technological intervention, which was not there in the past.
Yes. So they can identify and discard those.
Okay.
So this is helping. This is happening here.
Interesting. Ma'am, technological intervention in your space also?
First, I would like to say, am I audible? Okay. First, I would like to say that whenever one talks of water, one never asks me any questions, as if that water is just a service. I was just reading a UNESCO report of 2016, which says that 3 out of every 4 jobs in the world is either directly or indirectly dependent on water. So water is the biggest creator of job in the world. Here also, with the Jaldi One Mission, with taps in every household, we need to maintain it.
Yes.
So that has a huge potential for pump operators and, for water engineers. Then we are also going in we've constituted the Bureau of Water Use Efficiency. Just like the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, we just in October we constituted it, and we are going to measure water footprint as to how many, how many liters of water is required to drink a cup of coffee, if you are having, how much of water is required for the paddy to grow vis-a-vis other crops like millets. So we are coming in with new lexicon and water, like water footprint, water audit. Like even in your house, how much water you are using. Well, nobody used LED bulbs. We were all using normal bulbs. So we are also coming with blue labeling of, fixtures. That, okay, this is blue labeled, water efficient, use it. So these are the new technologies in which we will need huge potentials, and if IIT can, set up a Water Institute of Excellence or something like that.
We have.
Yeah.
That will be a great potential for...
I think we almost have an MOU being signed here on this stage.
No, can I add one point
Yeah.
to Varmaji's?
Ma'am can finish her point. Yeah.
Then that was about water, and also about technology, that the biggest change that we've seen in the coming years is the use of technology in water. We have the Internet of Things. In Karnataka, sitting in your room on your mobile phone, the farmer can just type and ensure that kitna drop flows through the pipe for that crop.
Wow.
So those are the new fascinating things. We have the whole GIS mapping of water bodies, in which we are trying to develop systems by which, a DM can, sitting in his home, see whether his water body is shrinking, expanding. So AI and AR, VR, Internet of Things, everything has a huge potential. We're thinking of water museums in terms of AR, VR, where you...
In Northeast?
Not in Northeast as such, but it's in the domain of thinking. That,
Okay. Sure.
Water is very important for jobs, and also, technology-led water intervention can really be a game changer, and it is happening.
So there's so much that goes backstage when it comes to ensuring even a single droplet of water reaches the that's called the last mile
last
connectivity.
mile.
Yes. Sir.
Yeah, that's in fact, I'm prompted to tell two things.
Please
I
go
drank
ahead.
your water, sitting here. Secondly, this about the technology.
Yes.
As early as this month, June 2023, we should be launching along with Antron, that is Assam PSU, and with the 8 states that the 5G applications. This is a part of the 4.0 industry.
Okay.
And 4.0 industry we know as artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoTs, 5G applications, 3D printing, data analytics. And they all are a part of the same family. They are very close relatives. And all of them were linked up to everything, including the water management and every drop. So this we are going to launch this month.
Brilliant.
By NSC and Antron and DOT and Minister of Donor. And the little that I know is that the 5G applications in the country is very limited, and this was testified by a news article brought out by Economic Times on 30th March of 2023 that the 5G is launched, but the user cases are so limited that it's refusing to move forward.
Okay.
Because
New machine will require.
because people are happy with 4G. Why should they go to 5G anyway?
Yes.
Because the use cases are limited now. So we are stepping to that. A lot of things have happened. I don't have time to get into that. But it could be a trendsetter right from the Northeast. This month we are hopeful to launch it.
I think the Northeast Council and the parameters or the verticals you have touched upon, you're already setting a new template for the rest of the states perhaps to emulate.
Yeah, in fact, if it will be successful, it's going to be trendsetter, and in fact, then we'll start linking with how it's going to change the health sector in ways that we've not seen. The 3D printing, which we are advocating, but it's not right now rolling out, it's going to be game changer. The future is the technology, essentially, and of course, I'm sitting both sides by
You're flanked by
all people of
technology.
technology thing, and so we have to. But essentially, everyone has to come together, collaborate, and then leverage each other and have that coalition.
So that has already kick-started the collaboration here from the DD platform. We are very glad to say that.
I
Yes,
wanted to touch upon the basic things like Jaldi One Mission. So the potable, safe water supply is directly related to the health. Okay? So all communicable diseases and diarrheal diseases among children, the worm infestation. So many diseases are waterborne, and that has been affecting the local population and the mortality and everything. So providing by this Jaldi One Mission, the mortality among the children, the infection rate, everything has come down. So the water and sanitation is really very, very integral part of any health delivery. That's what I wanted to.
Also, since that one on the basic health indicators.
Yeah.
North East की जब पहले बात की जाती थी तो वो पायदान में नीचे होता था. अब अगर आप ही नंबर शेयर करें.
This particular area has got a typical problem like Tripura, Mizoram, Meghalaya has got a problem of HIV, hepatitis B, more than any other part of place. Similarly, our health delivery system had been also little lower than what happens in the Goa, Karnataka, Kerala like that. So we've been on those indicators, we've been running low. As I said, the maternal mortality has been a grave concern. Government has been trying a lot for last 4 or 5 years, and it has shown the result. And there is a scope of further improvement. Infant mortality rate also. So there are certain areas, and then there is a prevalence of anemia among the pregnant ladies and the children. Almost 30% of the population are undernourished. Maybe our dietary habits needs a change. Some behavioral change is required. So these are the areas which we'll be researching and will be certainly making an impact. It takes a time, especially improving when you want to improve on any kind of health indicators. So we intend to provide a safe delivery, reducing infant mortality rate, reducing maternal mortality rate, improving the overall nutrition of the people, improving the anemia, eradicating those worm infestation, bringing down this HIV and hepatitis B infections. Beside that, there is a big problem of here consuming tobacco and smoking, betel nut chewing and all that thing. That has caused a lot of oral cancers and upper the body part.
Now, since you have talked about it, what are the concerted efforts by district administrations and otherwise also to contain that? It's tough, it's difficult, it's
I think they keep on make raids on those people who make tambakus and gutka, and then those open sales are unless curtailed. The people are, I don't know how far they are licensed or not, whether they are checking or not. That depends on the ministry and the local authorities. I'm not privy to that. But yes, government has come up with this, with the Tata Cancer Care Center. 17 cancer centers are being established, 10 are already ready, 3-4 has been already launched and started. So there's many things are happening to provide healthcare to the Northeast people.
So you wanted to add something to that?
No, I just wanted to add
Sure.
in the sense that district administrations, that certain districts have been identified in the state of Assam where these MMR, IMR are high. And these are high because of certain communities. So those, they do not have that whatever nutrition needed for baby and for the women when they carry a baby.
Okay.
So those areas have been identified, those communities have been identified, and necessary inputs have been given through various schemes of the government. So I think that will improve. That is one of the reasons why in last 2-3 years the IMR, MMR, the percentage have gone down here, and it is as comparable as the national average at present. But what he said is regarding gutka and those Tamil here, this is very prevalent here and Meghalaya.
We need a behavioral change.
So we really need to bring out certain legislation to stop those.
Is it part of the council, sir? Chalai, sir?
No, we are not so much directly taking this, but we coordinate and collaborate with the states wherever they need us. But the states are the ones who are taking it on the front lines.
Yes, okay. Ma'am, आपने water audit की बात की. इसके बारे में बताइए.
So water audit is something like it has many sectors in which water audit.
मैंने आपसे सवाल क्यों पूछा? ताकि कहीं ना कहीं पे consciously or unconsciously, the way we are wired, we end up knowingly, unknowingly wasting a lot of water on daily basis, and each one of us. So I think that also requires a behavioral change, isn't it?
So water audit जो है वो compulsory है for industries.
Okay, okay.
So for industries, you know, water auditors are there. Pollution Control Board का कुछ legislations है, जिसमें they see that you know you don't discharge liquid. You should reach the zero liquid discharge level, wherein you are not discharging effluents which will contaminate the water. Plus you're using water saving. But abhi isme, you know, it's more nudge than bully or legislation, because then what we are coming to is home audit of water.
I was coming.
Like, you know, we want auditors. We're thinking of having auditors for home audit. You can do your home audit and see that how much of water you could have saved if you could change fixtures. And दूसरा चीज़ है, if you change behaviors, like if you use more than 5 minutes of shower, then you are, you know, using 30 liters more of water, wasting it, than if you had just, you know, taken bath by balti. If you just, while brushing, if you just close the tap and not leave it open like I used to, then also you're saving water. So it is in these, like, you don't have to be a climate change activist, I keep on saying, to become a water warrior. You can just change these daily habits. You know, if you go for sustainable clothes, there are certain kind of clothes which you wear which are made out of less intensive use of water. If you eat millets, which require less water, you know, if you consume certain dietary habits, like, you know, cheese. I'm not saying don't take cheese, but cheese, milk, these require mutton, chicken, are very, very water intensive. But I'm not saying that don't do it. I'm just saying become conscious of it, like we have become conscious of energy. We've, especially in energy, the alternate sources
individual
of energy.
Water audit you're talking about.
Water is money.
We can just start by these things. Leaky faucets, you know, 3,000 liters of water, one person who just went about, he saved 3,000 liters of water in Mumbai. He just went about fixing the leaky faucets in the houses.
Can I just add one thing?
Yes.
I think Agriculture Ministry also has come up with certain ideas where, you know, you have to identify certain crops where you need less water than in a normal
crops,
and identify those areas where you can have those crops.
Yeah.
Ma'am, before I take the final comments, that a bit on, there is a lot being done on the river rejuvenation and water conservation. अभी तक तो हमने जो घर पे हमारे पानी आता है उसके बारे में बात की, but अगर big picture की बात की,
big picture की बात करें तो under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, we have rejuvenated more than 90 lakh, you know, water bodies and rivers. अगर सब and water harvesting structures सब बना के लें तो 90 लाख से ज़्यादा हम लोग water structures rejuvenation लेके all India level पे we've done that. In the past 2019 से जल शक्ति अभियान start हुआ था. We have planted more than 90 lakh trees and saplings
overall
for intensive afforestation. We have also opened around 623 Jal Shakti Kendra, which is like a Krishi Vigyan Kendra, which in the district we are aiming it to become the one-stop solution for water information, water knowledge dissemination, and you know, लोगों का quality check कराना है तो आके करा ले. Then 12 crore out of, we have around 65 crore households. 12 crore ko Jaldi One Mission has reached in providing tap water to around 12 crore households. So in terms of achievements, we have, you know, we've come out with a lot of these first time monitoring reports like water body census. Abhi tak pata hi nahi tha ki kitne water bodies hain. So we have 24 lakh water bodies, of which Assam is in top 5. We have 17 lakh water bodies, 1,72,000 water bodies in Assam only.
Okay,
of
so you
which
can imagine-
90% is in the private, owned by individuals.
Okay.
So this kind of, we
So
also
imagine
look for water
or
data
eight
collection.
eight states, or the amount of water bodies it will amount to.
Yeah.
So that's again that whole question of, sir, Chalai sir, natural resources and harnessing Northeast ke natural resources to the fullest potential. Now is the time, because you cannot talk about research in Northeast not talking about utilizing your resources, which by the way makes you the richest.
Yes. Yes.
Aapke liye, Chalai sir, and then I
Absolutely.
take final comments.
I think we are moving towards the closing of the session. Just want to keep one thing. Now our topic is transforming Northeast India, no? The multi-sectoral that approach. Of course, we have discussed a number of issues from power to the institutions, the water, and the infrastructure. But one of the things let's admit is that, well, a lot is happening, and we must appreciate that and compliment, acknowledge them. However, the economic activities, the economic transformation, the employment generation, income generation is not picking up the way it should be.
Okay.
Far, far below. The reason is that's because, and that's creating a huge stress already. Something which our Honorable Chief Ministers, the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable HM, who happens to be my chairman also, everyone now, and my Minister of Donor himself, everyone is beginning now to shout from the top of the voice that it's time for private investment to come to the Northeast. And without that, we are stuck.
Okay.
Because good roads are very important, bridges are important, infrastructure important, but at the end of the day, I can't eat roads.
Okay.
I can't eat bridges. I have to eat something else.
Yes.
And that's where the economic activity is not keeping up pace with all the beautiful and wonderful development which is happening. It's happening a lot, but not keeping pace enough. That's what I would like to really emphasize before this, in this house, in this platform. And therefore, the private investment to come is a big need, because the investment, the private investment that is coming it's
not
very low, very
okay,
low.
okay.
And FDI, not worth saying.
Okay.
Now, because of this, a lot of push is happening. Don't know how much time it will take, but a concerted effort is already happening under the aegis of Ministry of Donor, Invest India, which is a part of DPIT, and FICCI, and also to some extent NSC. The global investment summit is going to happen for the Northeast for the first time. But it's time that everyone all of us should shout out that the investment is not happening, and therefore only infrastructure development and everything else is not going to keep up pace. Therefore, lakhs and lakhs of youths are moving out from the region for in search
So
of
आपने
employment.
जो मेरे पहला सवाल आपसे था उस पे आपने heavy duty infrastructure
Is
development की
there,
बात
but
की.
not corresponding the private investment to happen. as
So
the
we do
chairman-
need, okay, got it, sir. Parameswar sir, Sanjay, Krishna ji, PPP model is the need of the hour to keep up the momentum of Northeast multi-sectoral growth going upwards and onwards.
No, I fully agree what Mr. Chalai said just now. See, we have a total population of about 5 crores, this whole area. And there's 5 crore consumers, they demand so many things. So that means we have to get the things from other part of the country or from the other five countries which are surrounding us. So we have a huge market. Secondly, there is a need. And this can be done not only through the central government or state government. There has to be private investment coming into this area. And there are a lot of things are going on at present, what he says about the donor and all. So I'm sure once we get those investments here, then there will be definitely much more progress. Regarding your natural resources, yes, Assam has got, once upon a time, we used to produce 50% of the total oil production. One of the Asia's oldest refineries in Assam. We produce more than 60% of the tea. Plus we have coal and a lot of others, limestone and all. Natural resources, there's no problem at all. But only thing is that there should be a consolidated, comprehensive plan.
The beginning is made?
Yeah, beginning is made. I can say that we have spent about 3,82,000 crores in last few years for construction of infrastructure in this area, the whole of Northeast. But still a long way to go. Everybody has to come and help, and then definitely Northeast will be one of the best places to live. And you go to Cherrapunji, you go to Kaziranga, you go to Manas, you go to Tawang, you go to Mechuka, you have everything here in this area. So you just
sky's the limit here. Okay, so the whole multi-sectoral growth template, when we talk about, the work is under progress, the numbers are excellent, but to break it down further and more simple, हमने बात की बिजली की, पानी की, शिक्षा की, हेल्थ की, स्वास्थ्य की, everything under the sun हमने बात की. और अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट की ग्रोथ स्टोरी एंड द राइज ऑफ नॉर्थ ईस्ट की बात की जाए, तो जो हमारा हाई पावर्ड पैनल है, इनका ये कहना नहीं मानना भी है कि जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट की बदलती तस्वीर है आगे बढ़ती रहेगी चमक और धमक और ऊर्जा के साथ. But the need of the hour that my honorable panelists have been really pressing upon, and I think there could not be a better platform than the platform that DD Dialogue is providing, because this is for the people of Northeast to understand the need and the blueprint for future, which is PPP model and much more. Lekin shuruaat ho chuki hai. Thank you very much all of you for joining us and making this conversation so very interesting. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we can always have a huge round of applause. Our way to thank our panelists. Thank you very much, Sri Sanjay Kumar Krishna, Chairman, Assam Electricity Regulatory Commission and former Chief Secretary, Assam. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Professor Parameswar K. Iyer, Director, IIT Guwahati. Extremely thankful to K. Moses Chalai, Secretary, Northeastern Council. And many thanks, Archana Varma, Mission Director, National Water Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Water Governance ke baare mein hame batane ke liye. And thank you very much, Ashok Puranik ji, Head of All India Medical Sciences, Guwahati. And with that, thank you. And with that, it's time to wrap up this panel. We'll be back after a very short breather. Stay with us on DD. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That was a wonderful session, informative and with a vision, with a new era of development in Northeast. May I now request ADJ News, Shri Santosh Kumar sir, to kindly come up to the stage and felicitate and present a memento of the conclave to all our esteemed panelists. A huge applause. Thank you all.